Hey guys, Sandy here, and I am back for Follow a Sketch Friday. Now I'm going to combine Follow a Sketch Friday with the Rediscover Your Stash Challenge because I am working with that stash kit. So this is the sketch I'm going to be following. It is sketch 289 from Sketches in Time, and it is by Brenda. So I'm going to use this as my inspiration today. And I'm using these two photos from the Jelly Belly factory. And this is the actual factory floor where they have jelly beans in storage. Is that not crazy? Look at those beans. Crazy. And then we have some of the workers here in this photo. I'm going to be using this gelato. Now this, okay guys, I have 3 gelatos. Blue, pink, and purple. And they all came as like freebies when you purchase something. I think with scrapbook.com or something similar. I have never used them before. Never, ever. So, I mean, look at this guy. It's still brand spanking new. So I'm going to try to use this guy up. Well, no. Let's take that back. Not up, just use it on this layout. I have 3 papers that I pulled out. I'm going to be using the B-side of the Life is Beautiful from Fancy Pants. It's this black dot on a white background. I'm using the I Love Family B-side for the border strips. And then I am using, I think this is the B-side on this one too, because the title is Splish Splash, and that's from I Love Sunshine by Lori Whitlock. I'm only going to use a small amount of this because honestly, I love this side of the paper. So I want to make sure I use this. This was actually the side I pulled out. This is the side that made me pull this for the kit. But I am going to use this side. Alright guys, let's see what I can do. So I gessoed my page and then I swirled the gelato on some packing and then actually used a brush and some water to kind of soften it up. I wanted like soft splotchies. I didn't want any kind of hard design coming out of that water. And then I added a little bit more water just so I could pull some of that color up because I just wanted this as a little accent in the background. And then I dried it with my heat tool and cut out my papers. I also matted my photos on some black cardstock. Most of the time I prefer to have my photos on some sort of mat just to give them definition because sometimes when you place your photos on top of busy pattern papers, they kind of melt into each other. Now at first I was going to use this striped paper as an accent, and then when I flipped it over I realized that I had what I wanted for my title, which worked out great for me. It was kind of difficult to get my papers to stick onto the gessoed paper, so I do take the adhesive and really just go over it a couple times throughout the entire process of creating this layout. So I used my trimmer to go around the edges, so I would definitely have straight cuts for the straight parts of this speech bubble, and then I just used my scissors to round the corners. I thought about grabbing my quarter rounder, however I wasn't sure if the corners would match up, the drawn corners would match up with the corner rounder, so I just cut it off. I also cut off the speech bubble tail. I find that I normally do that as I'm not too big of a fan of speech bubbles. Now I thought that I would use this up here in place of the tag element that is on the sketch. So I put it up here like this, and I like that, but I felt like there needed to be a little bit more. So I grabbed a scrap sheet of paper, and that is from the Echo Park I Love Sunshine collection as well. And I put it up here, and this time I actually am going to get a corner rounder and round the corners. I do pull out my Creative Memories corner rounder. It has to be my favorite corner rounder of all time. I also have a Project Life corner rounder, and it's great that those corners match the Project Life cards when I want those cards to have rounded corners. However, I just really like the angle of the Creative Memories. So I grabbed some of the washi tape, and I'm not exactly sure where this washi tape came from, but it is translucent. So what I do to combat that is do 2 layers, and I just line up the chevrons with each other. And that way you still can see a little bit through the washi tape to the layers below it, but you can't really, like, it's not glaringly obvious at you. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that little cluster at the bottom, and I'm going to do that same thing with the washi tape. And dang, I wish I knew which company made this washi tape. I know it came in a 2-pack with a gray with a white polka dot. And I love those 2 washi tapes, and I use them so often. And these are the ones that I stopped using because I was running out, which makes absolutely no sense. So my goal is to get through at least 2 rolls of washi tape, and I think I'll be able to do it, especially with these 2 because they're a great neutral. So I have this little scrap of orange paper, and that's also from I Love Sunshine. And I'm just doing up a little bit of layers here on this little cluster down at the bottom, and I'm noticing that I do have some orange over on the left, so I want to make sure I have orange on the right, and I'm even going to put a little bit more orange on the page just to have a line, like not a real line, but a line for your eye to follow. And here I am just pushing everything down because it is having trouble sticking to the gesso. So I decide to put some more of this aqua tealy paper down, and I'm going to corner edge one side because the other sides are all going to be tucked underneath my photos. And I am getting away from the sketch a little bit. I just liked the way that the teal paper laid better going in a different direction. I do add in this little arrow guy right here, or not arrow, like striped paper that was cut off from the That's Just Lovely card, and I like what it does there. I like how it joins the teal paper and the green paper, like there's a connection and it's not just plop down, plop down. And to me, that makes that join right there more pleasing to the eye. So I get that down, and I mess around with these 2 little orange pieces because I know I want the orange piece to go up there, and I know I want the orange piece to go over here on that cluster, but I'm not sure which one should go where. Now that orange piece of paper has flowers and butterflies on it, and I'm not keen on butterflies, so I'm making sure not to have the butterflies be so evident. So if you look at that little orange piece of paper, you're not going, dang, there's some butterflies on that page, and what do butterflies have to do with jelly beans? I couldn't even tell you. So I get that situated, and then I decide to bring in the washi tape again, and I do that same trick where I double up on it. I have to put some more adhesive down because it's just not sticking today. All right, and I'm not even paying attention or noticing that my light is changing and that the light is casting through the blinds, but I will fix that shortly. Now, I grabbed these Tim Holtz word phrase stickers, and I put them up there, up at the top, and I'm not going to add a definitive circle like in the sketch. I'm using that gessoed background as my circle element to that sketch. And I'm thinking that there definitely needs to be something on there to say that, yes, this is a tag up at the top. But I get that figured out shortly. And now my light is really going away, and guys, I'm not even realizing it. Like, I am so in the zone of getting this page done that I'm not even recognizing the fact that I'm losing my light. So I grab my circle punches, and I'm going to use the circle punch on this square sticker that has the heart on it. I mean, if you have stickers and you don't like the shape, just change the shape. It's so awesome. So I punch that out,
And I'm going to layer that up on the cluster because it felt kind of naked to me. It felt like it needed something to go over a couple of those layers to make it one cohesive thought. It wasn't really cohesive to me. It was just kind of like I threw some paper in the corner down there. So I do that, and we get that all situated. And I add on a word sticker, and here is where I realized that the light was getting really bad, so I went and changed my blinds over, and voila! Now we don't have the sun setting across the page. So I do finally get that cluster done. It's like, come on, get this on here. I finally find the perfect spot after much deliberation, throw some ATG on that bad boy, and get it on there. And I press on it firmly because I am really having a hard time getting my stuff to stick. And at first, I think I'm going to go with that big heart because I think I'm going to make hearts like this big motif. But I decide not to. I decide to go with the little heart up on that paper to make it feel reminiscent of a tag. And I'm cool with that. And I'm just looking at these Frickle Fawn washi stickers. So I grab this little scalloped orange sticker, and I get it set up to go underneath of the green paper layer here. If I would have thought about this beforehand, I could have laid this out and then put the green paper on top of it, but I am not one to think about things beforehand. I am one that seems to put their layers on from the top down, and I actually broke apart the little piece of washi that I was going to use there. I was thinking about putting it in a third place, but it tore apart on my hand, so I'm just having it go across the bottom here as a little border. And it's just a little extra that I don't know I would have done had I not been so focused on using up some stash. So if I wasn't doing this challenge right now and using this kit and just really focusing on trying to get some stuff used up, it probably would not have occurred to me to throw that sticker on there. But I also grab one of the Sunshine and Happiness stickers, and that's from Simple Stories. Or maybe it's I Love... Yeah, no, this is the Simple Story, so it's Sunshine and Happiness. And I just layer that up with that little tag, and that's just lovely. And it just adds a little bit more of the green color up at the top. And then I'm going to add some of those Frickle Fawn arrows. And at first, I was just going to leave that little guy up there, but I decide that I need more arrows. Not exactly sure why, other than I'm using stuff up. So I get that guy up there, and then I decide to put the little one that I had originally put on as well. And he nestles right between that arrow and that tag really nicely. And there I am putting more adhesive on because it is not sticking down. Okay, and I went and got some homemade enamel dots that I had made a long time ago out of perler beads. And I was going to use a couple different colors, but they were the same size and I wanted them to be different sizes like they are in the sketch. So I'm using the black beads, perler beads made into enamel dots, and like I said, I think I've made these like 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. It's been a while since I made them. And I'm going to put them in 3 places around the layout. And I went and got these fancy pants. I'm not exactly sure what they are. They're reminiscent of enamel dots. So I used the tealy green color and the gray, since I do have tealy green and the gray on the layout. And I like that combo with the black. So I get them positioned, and they're just in 3 little spots around the layout. And I'm going to use my Tombow Mono Multi Adhesive to start to put them down. And then it gets too messy because I'm putting too much glue down. And I know it's going to dry matte, so I'm cool with that. But you know what? It's instantaneous. I want it dry now and finished now. So I stopped messing with that after a while and just throw some ATG on it. And I actually grab a paper towel and kind of sop up the amount of glue that is hanging out around these perler beads enamel dots. Say that 3 times fast, guys. Perler beads enamel dots. That is a mouthful. And here I am just trying to get some of it up. That was a lot of glue. I don't know what I was thinking or why I thought I needed that much glue. I'm just going to throw some journaling down on this, and that's going to call this layout done. Go ahead and check out the Sketches in Time blog, and go ahead and check out the Rediscover Your Stash Challenge going on Facebook. We got all kinds of fun things going on. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you'll be able to check out all the layouts that I do during the Stash Challenge. All right, thanks so much for watching. Bye.